Hi everyone, it's Amy from Clean Cloth Nappy Hire, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about nappy wash routines so that you can have really beautiful, stain-free, smell-free cloth nappies. So a good wash routine has 4 steps. Step 1 is to pre-treat, step 2 is a pre-wash, step 3 is a main wash, and step 4 is to dry them. So step 1, pre-treat. So you can do this for any poopy nappies that you have. And my preferred pre-treated product is Sard soap. So that's upside down. Here we go. This stuff. Sard soap. Sard soap is a really wonderful product for getting out breastfed newborn poo stains from nappies. Also really good on your kids' clothes and any other uses around the house. And to use Sard soap, you rinse the poopy nappy and you rinse the bar of soap just to get it a bit wet, and then just rub it through all of the layers of the nappy fabrics and then pop that nappy back into your dry pail. I let the pre-wash cycle rinse out the Sard soap. I figure a bit of time in the fabrics is helpful there. And then step 2 is to pre-wash your nappies. So this is a short wash cycle on your machine. It's not just a rinse and spin. It needs to have a period of agitation to really loosen up the soiling from those nappies so that you can do a really effective main wash. And so on most machines you might have something like a fast wash cycle or a quick 30 or just any kind of short wash cycle. Any water temperature is fine, so I usually just use cold for my pre-wash, but some people like to use a warmer pre-wash and that's fine as well. And just your nappies in this wash. And then you run your main wash. So your main wash is typically the longest cycle on your machine. For a front loader, usually the cotton cycle or cotton's intensive or something like that, that runs for about 2.5 to 3 hours is what you need for this one. Top loaders, usually heavy duty. Some machines have like a fuzzy cycle or a jeans cycle or an extra dirty function or a soak. Basically, as much time as you can get in the machine is really helpful. Time is your friend when it comes to washing your nappies. And I'll talk a bit more about load size and the consistency you need to make in the machine to get all of the stains out further into this video. And then step 4 is to dry. So you can dry them on the line, clothes airer, in front of a fan, wherever you prefer. If you use the clothes dryer, just make sure that you use low heat or warm heat only. If you put them in on hot, it can melt the waterproofing layers in your nappies. Clothes dryers can get really hot as the nappies are nearly dry. So no hot dryers, but warm dryers are fine. So let's get started. We'll talk about front loaders and top loaders and how to dose detergent for washing your nappies. So this is how to dose detergent for your nappy washing. So on this particular package we've got 3 doses on the box. We've got normal loads or light to medium soiling. We've got large loads or heavy soiling and hard water. And we've got an amount as well for hand washing and soaking, which we don't need to use for our nappy washing. In the pre-wash for both top and front loading washing machines, add half of the normal load amount. So the normal load amount is 1 scoop, and so you just put in half a scoop and run that cycle. For your main wash, you need to add the large load amount or the heavy soiling hard water amount, and on this box that's 1.5 scoops of detergent. If you have a front loader and 1.5 scoops gives you a complete whiteout of suds in the drum during the cycle, or the machine stops and gives you a sud lock, that's a bit too much for your particular machine. So just drop it back toward the 1 scoop mark and adjust between, you want to get a balance between the clean and the suds. Top loaders, definitely put that large load amount into your machine for the main wash. The only other exception to these rules is for plant-based detergents. So if you're using a plant-based detergent, they're not quite as powerful as mainstream detergents, and you'll just need to add a little bit more detergent. So you might start with the normal load amount detergent for your pre-wash, and then you might use a little bit more than the large load amount for the main wash, and just adjust as required to get a really beautiful clean. So that's how to dose detergent for both front loading and top loading washing machines. And next we'll go on to the wash routines. Alright, so top loader wash cycle. So this is an old Hoover Premier top loader that I have. And the cycles that you choose will depend on the washing machine that you have. So recently I've washed nappies in this and also in a Simpson top loader. Of course there's lots of other manufacturers of top loaders out there. So this Hoover machine has quite short wash cycles. You'll see over on the top right we've got the super wash cycle, and the super wash cycle actually is only 17 minutes of agitation there. As far as wash cycles go, that's not very long. So what I do is on this machine I run the super wash for both my pre-wash and main wash. And if I want to add a soak, which is really helpful to get a bit of extra time for the main wash, I just lift the lid up after the main wash is filled and started, and I just leave it for an hour or so and then come back and start it again and let that cycle finish. On the Simpson top loader that I had, I used the fast wash cycle for the pre-wash, and then I used the heavy duty cycle for the main wash. So the fast wash cycle on that machine ran for about 40 something minutes, and with a soak added, the heavy duty cycle was about maybe an hour 40 or so. So those are around the times that you're looking for. So let's say about half an hour to 60 minutes in the pre-wash, depending on which cycle you choose. And then if you can get something that's around 1.5 hours for your main wash, that'll be great for a top loader wash routine. So here we talk about wash temperature and wash size. So in a top loader, the heat of the water that fills the machine is determined by the temperature of the incoming tap water. And these days most houses have regulated tap water, which is I think regulated to around 55 degrees. And so when you choose hot water to wash your nappies, that water will come in at 55 degrees, or some machines still mix in a little bit of cold, so it might be a little bit less. It's fine to wash most nappies at any temperature up to 60 degrees. And so I always choose hot water for washing my nappies. I find it gives much better results. And it's also really useful for killing any bacteria. You never want to get stinky nappies. And it's also excellent for budging any stains as well. So pre-wash for me on cold, and then main wash I do on hot, which is obviously temperature of the incoming tap water there. For the load size, you can manually set the wash load on most top loading machines, and that's what I advise you do for your nappy washing. A medium load size will work best and give the best agitation in most top loaders. If you've got a machine that does auto water level, you might want to override it to set a medium water level and make sure that you're running a medium size load. And the consistency you want to achieve in a top loader is something called nappy stew. And what nappy stew means is that if you imagine like a casserole in a casserole dish, all of the pieces of food in the casserole are close together and they can touch each other, but they're not so jam-packed in there that you can't scoop out the casserole with a bit of sauce around it. So what this means is that you want the items in your wash to rub against each other to get the stains out. So that's what we refer to as good agitation. But you don't want them to be so tightly packed that they can't move, and you don't want them to be so far apart that they don't rub together properly and they're kind of just swimming in the water. So in some washing machines you can open the lid during the cycle and actually have a look at what's happening, and you want to check that the items are circulating around really well. Other machines like this one you can't open the lid, so if I want to check my nappy stew, what I do is I choose an item that's at the top of the wash, I shut the lid and let the machine run for a minute, and then I open it up again and I check whether that item has disappeared. So if everything's circulating around the wash, the item should be going from the top to the bottom, back up to the top, and around the sides as well. So whatever you see at the top should have disappeared, and you'll be able to just visually check the consistency as well. So there are a couple of helpful nappy stew videos if you just search on YouTube for nappy stew. You'll find a couple of examples from, I think from Fisher Paykel machines, and they're quite helpful for those users. And some machines you can see through the glass lid, which is really fantastic and quite exciting when you're washing your nappies and you want to check out what's going on. But yeah, if you don't have that function, just try the visual inspection, as I do, and go from there. Alright, front loader users, it's your turn now. So this is the pre-wash in a front loading washing machine, and I've got a Fisher Paykel Wash Smart front loader. And for the pre-wash I use the quick wash cycle. So again, like the top loader, you want a short cycle. The quick 30 is perfect for my nappies, and I just use the default settings. I don't bother to change anything. I just let it do its thing, and that works out fine, so I stick with it. Some machines don't have a quick wash cycle, and so if you have a machine that doesn't have a quick wash cycle, you might choose something like everyday cycle or a synthetic cycle. Just avoid the delicate hand wash, wool wash type cycles, because you're trying to give your nappies a good wash here. So avoid the gentle stuff, give them a really thorough wash, and then move on to the main wash. Alright, so it's main wash time. And for the main wash I've chosen the cotton cycle, and the cotton cycle is the front loader wash cycle of choice for dirty laundry. Nappies are dirty laundry, so if you've got the cotton cycle, use the cotton cycle. You could also choose a heavy duty type cycle, and that would be fine as well. In terms of time in the wash, front loaders take much longer to wash than top loaders, but they also give a much better clean. So 2:37 is the wash time that I've got here. You want something between 2.5 and 3 hours, and that will give you a really, really lovely wash in your front loader. Wash temperature, I always choose 60 degrees. 60 degrees gives me fabulous results every time, and I really like it. 60 is also the magic number for killing bacteria. Of course, you can remove bacteria with good detergent and good agitation at lower temperatures, but 60 will definitely do it with the heat. So that's my temperature of choice. Some people like to wash their nappies on 40. I wouldn't advise that you wash on lower temperature than 40 in a front loader. I think you'll run into smell problems. Spin speed I just leave as the default, which on my machine is 1400. I've washed my nappies at 1400 RPM for many years now with no ill effects. And my machine has a soil level option. Some machines have an intensive button which changes the cycle length as well. So I just change the soil level to heavy, and that just increases the wash time. And then we've got a few other options. I don't use any of those for my nappy washing. I just let the machine do its thing. It knows what it's doing. It does a great job. So I will talk about load size in just a minute. So your front loader will work best with a full belly, and that means running a full load for your main wash. What you can see here is that I'm doing my main wash at the moment, and a full load of laundry will compress to about 2/3 full when the machine is wet and running. So when the machine stops like this, you can see that it's about at the 2/3 full, which I've indicated with some tape on the door glass there. If you overload the machines, you can end up with stains, and if you underload the machine, you can end up with stains as well. So that 2/3 is really the sweet spot for most front loaders.
Dear Mum.
Thank you. So there we go, around 2/3. The optimal level to get beautiful clean nappies. Now if you don't have enough laundry to put into that main wash, you can add other things that get a hot wash. So I've put in the dishcloths and the tea towels and some face washers and things that I would normally wash at 60 degrees, and that's bulked up the load size because I didn't have quite enough nappies to run a full wash. So that's loading your front loader. Right, so a full load makes about 2/3 full during the cycle. Perfect. So I hope that's helpful. Those are our wash routines for front loading and top loading washing machines. And of course, if you're a Clean Cloth Nappy Hire customer, you get your personalised wash routine done for your machine and detergent. So that form will be emailed to you, and you just fill it in and I'll email your wash routine through. Any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook or write in the comments below, and I'll help you out with that. Otherwise, happy washing. I hope everything goes super well and you enjoy your beautifully clean nappies. See you next time.